Hey there, this is Alexis Knight. Welcome to True Crime, the Court of Public Opinion. I am your host, guiding you through cases and controversies where the truth isn't just hard to find, it's actually being actively obscured. Today, we're tackling a phenomenon that's gripping the world, not in a courtroom, but in the skies above. You have been told not to worry. You have been told these mysterious drones, these UAPs, whatever you want to call them, pose no threat. You've been told they're just hobbyist toys, or maybe foreign surveillance, or maybe it's nothing at all. But let me ask you this. Do you really believe that? Do you really and truly believe that hundreds of these objects can appear over our neighborhoods, our military bases, and even our oceans, and the people in charge don't know what they are? That they can move the way they do, vanish without a trace, and we're supposed to accept that they're harmless? Even if you don't know what to believe, let me ask you this. Does any of that make any sense to you? Well, here, we're going to dive for the first time, probably not the last time, into the case of the mysterious drones that are invading our skies. And the bigger issue here, the stories we're told, the questions we are not asking, and the truth we are not getting. Are these drones government experiments, foreign tech, or something more? What we know is that the public is demanding answers, and what we're finding is that the powers that be would much rather that we look the other way. All right, let's break this down. If you're sitting here thinking these are just some advanced military drones, or maybe it's just a foreign government testing their tech, let me tell you why that explanation does not hold water. First, let's talk logistics. For this to be happening at the scale we are seeing, hundreds, maybe thousands of drones appearing all over the world, you would need a massive infrastructure. And I'm talking about facilities to build them, bases to launch them, and networks to control them. And yet not a single one has been found. Not one. Now think about fuel. These drones are staying in the air for hours, sometimes flying in precise patterns over vast distances. How are they refueling? Do they even need fuel? Because if they don't, that means we are looking at a propulsion system far beyond what any of us, any government, has publicly admitted to having. And then there is control. Who is behind them? I mean, these things aren't just wandering aimlessly. They are coordinated. Whether it's the grids they fly in or the way they appear and disappear without a trace, someone or something is directing them. But here's the kicker. No one has come forward to claim responsibility. Not a single government, company, or private group has said, "This is ours." And don't you think with the attention these sightings are getting, someone would have slipped up by now? And here's what really gets me. None of them have come down. Not one. No crashes. No retrievals. No accidents. What are the odds of that? Think about it. If these were human-operated drones, accidents would happen. Machines fail. Pilots make mistakes. But here we are with fleets of these things appearing all over the world, and not a single one has been recovered. We can't find their origin. We can't track them. They show up. They perform these almost theatrical displays in the sky, and then they just vanish. So I'm asking you to think about this. What would it take for this to be happening? What kind of technology are we dealing with? What kind of coordination? What kind of resources? The official story, the one you're being fed, it just doesn't add up. And here's the real challenge. Are you willing to question it? Are you willing to admit that maybe, just maybe, we don't know as much as we think we do? Because if you're not asking these questions, if you're just accepting what you're told, then you're doing exactly what they want you to do, and that's the biggest problem of all. Okay, it's a lot. Let's play devil's advocate for a second. Let's say you really don't want to believe this could be something extraordinary. All right, well, let's work through the scenario where this is human-made then. If humans are behind this, it wouldn't just be some rogue group of hobbyists or a private company showing off their tech. No, this would have to be a full-scale operation run by a major government superpower, or more likely, a coalition of them. We're talking about a level of cooperation, funding, and secrecy that rivals the Manhattan Project. I mean, think about it. To pull this off, you would need resources on an unimaginable scale. Let's start with the technology. These drones, or whatever they are, move in ways that defy the laws of physics as we understand them. Instant acceleration, 90-degree turns at high speeds, hovering without sound. This is not technology you can just buy off the shelf. It's not even technology we've seen in most classified military projects. If a government is behind this, they'd have to be decades, maybe even centuries, ahead of the cutting-edge tech we know about. And if that's the case, where are the prototypes? Where is the development history? And where's the trail of funding? Next, let's talk logistics. Now, just imagine the scale of the facilities you would need to produce these things. Factories capable of building fleets of advanced drones in total secrecy. Not just one factory, but dozens, spread across multiple locations to keep anyone from piecing this together. And then there's the workforce. How do you keep thousands of engineers, technicians, and operators from leaking even a hint of what they're working on? In the age of whistleblowers and social media, you're telling me not one person has come forward. Okay, now picture the control systems. These drones aren't just flying random patterns. These are coordinated. They move with purpose and precision and intelligence. And that means whoever is controlling them would need a global network of satellites, communication hubs, and data centers, all operating flawlessly, all undetectable to the entire world. Because remember, not one of these drones has been intercepted. Not one signal has been traced. Do you realize how impossible that is in a world where we can track a cell phone across continents? And then there's the cooperation. If this is a joint effort by multiple governments, how are they keeping it quiet? Governments can barely agree on trade policies or climate action, but we're supposed to believe they've come together to orchestrate this global phenomenon without a single leak, without one government using it to gain an advantage over the others. Does that sound remotely plausible to you? Think about the risks. What if one of these drones malfunctioned and crashed in a populated area? What if someone shot one down? The fallout, literal and figurative, would be catastrophic. And yet here we are with fleets of these things appearing all over the world and not one incident to point to. That's not just improbable, that is impossible. So let me ask you, if this is a human operation, who could be behind it? And how could they possibly be pulling it off? Do you see the cracks in that logic? Do you see how the pieces don't fit? Because if you're still clinging to the idea that this is just advanced military tech? Let me tell you, this explanation is as extraordinary as the idea that it might be something else. All right, we've established that the explanations you've been given don't add up. But let's take it one step further. If these drones or UAPs or whatever they are here, the question we need to be asking is why? What is the motive behind their presence? So let's start with the most obvious possibility, surveillance. If these objects are here to watch us, who's being watched? Is it just military bases, critical infrastructure, or is it something broader? Reports show these drones aren't just hovering over restricted areas, they are showing up in neighborhoods and over coastlines and even remote stretches of land where there's nothing but trees and open sky. If this is surveillance, it's not just about governments or military installations, it's about all of us. But surveillance isn't the only theory. Let's consider another possibility: boundary testing. Maybe whoever or whatever is behind these drones is pushing the limits of what we will tolerate. I mean, think about it. If these sightings are becoming more frequent, what are they testing? Our defenses? Our reactions? Our willingness to accept the unexplained without questioning it? History is full of examples where testing boundaries was the precursor to something bigger. The question is, what are we being prepared for? And here's one more possibility to consider: distraction. Could these sightings be part of a larger plan to divert our attention? While we're looking up at the sky, what aren't we seeing on the ground? What conversations, decisions, or events are slipping under the radar while we are busy trying to figure out what is flying above us? I mean, this is not a new tactic. From misinformation campaigns to false flags, distraction has always been a tool for those in power. The question is, distraction from what, if this is the theory? So let's think this through. We have surveillance, boundary testing, distraction. I mean, none of these theories are comforting. And here's the kicker: they all assume human intent. But the more you look at what's happening, the more you start to realize that none of these explanations fit perfectly. The scale, the precision, the sheer impossibility of it all. It's almost as if we are looking in the wrong direction. So let me ask you this: are we being told these drones are no big deal because the truth is too big to handle? Because if that is the case, we're not just dealing with an extraordinary phenomenon. We are dealing with the kind of cover-up that could change everything we think we know about the world. Now, let's talk about the real battleground here: public opinion. Because this phenomenon isn't just happening in our skies, it's happening in our minds, in our conversations, and across every corner of social media. So first, let's address the obvious shift in terminology, okay? Because not too long ago, these were just called UFOs, unidentified flying objects, because these apparently are unidentified, right? And then time happens, and we're being told to call them UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena. Okay, a subtle change. But let's think about what that really means. By changing the language, they're changing the perception. UFOs have baggage, right? They conjure images of tinfoil hats, flying saucers, and fringe conspiracy theories. UAPs, on the other hand, well, they sound clean. They sound scientific and official. It's a rebranding designed to make you more comfortable, to make you feel like the people in charge, they have everything under control. But here's the question. I mean, do they? And while we're talking about comfort, let's look at how this is playing out in the court of public opinion. Social media is a wildfire right now. Hashtags, videos, endless theories. Everyone has something to say about what is happening, but no one seems to have any answers. On one side, you have the skeptics, the people who say this is just some military tech. There's nothing to see here, so move along. But on the other side, you have the believers, the ones convinced that this is, and I'm going to say it, extraterrestrial. That disclosure is right around the corner. And then in the middle, you've got millions of people scrolling through their feeds, and they're liking posts and sharing videos and wondering, what do I believe? But here's the dangerous part. In the absence of real answers, speculation takes over. And we know this. And that's exactly where they want us. Because as long as we fight over theories, we're not demanding the truth. Think about it. How many times in history have we been fed just enough information to keep us guessing and keep us distracted, while the real story stayed hidden? And then there's the official response, or should I say the lack of it. Government and military officials keep saying the same thing. We don't know what these are, but don't worry, they pose no threat. Really? Let me get this straight. We're seeing flying objects over sensitive areas, performing maneuvers that defy our understanding of physics, and that's just a fact. And the people in charge want us to believe they're harmless. If you're feeling frustrated right now, good. You should be, because this isn't just about drones or UAPs or whatever label they want to slap on these things. This is about control of the narrative, control of our questions, control of how we think about the unknown. And here's the reality. Public opinion is the new courtroom. This is where the battle for the truth is happening. And the question you need to ask yourself is, whose side are you on? Are you going to keep scrolling and keep accepting the breadcrumbs that they're throwing at you? Or are you going to start asking the hard questions? The ones they don't want you to ask. Okay, let's cut to the heart of this. Why does any of this matter? Why should you care about some mysterious drones, or UAPs, or whatever we're calling them today, flying all over the world? Let me spell it out for you. This isn't just about what's in the sky. This is about what's happening to us on the ground. Because first, let's talk about trust. We live in a world where we're told to trust the institutions that protect us. The government, the military, even the media. They're supposed to be the ones with the answers, the ones keeping us safe. But here is the problem. When something like this happens, something this big, this obvious, this impossible, and those same institutions have nothing to say, what does that do to our trust in them? If they are lying, they're failing us. And if they're telling the truth, if they really don't know what is going on, that's almost worse, because it means they are as powerless as we are in this. Now, let's get into the science. If these UAPs aren't ours, if they aren't human, what does that mean for everything we think about the universe, about physics, about life? These objects are defying the laws of motion, guys, traveling distances that would destroy anything we've ever built. And they're doing it all without sound, by the way, without visible propulsion, and without leaving a trace. Here's a reality check, okay? Science does not know how to explain this. And if we're dealing with technology that's centuries or even millennia ahead of ours, it raises a terrifying question. Are we the most advanced beings on the planet? Or are we just ants looking up at something so far beyond us that we can't even comprehend it. And then there's security. We're all thinking about that. If these UAPs are a threat, we are not ready. Let me repeat that. We are not ready. Our entire defense system is built on the idea that we know what's out there, that we can detect and track and respond to any threat in the air, on the ground, or even in the sea. But these things, they are making a joke out of our systems. They're flying over nuclear sites, military bases, civilian neighborhoods, and the people in charge don't have a clue, or worse, they have a clue and they're keeping it from us. Think about the absurdity of it. We have spent billions, maybe trillions, on defense systems to protect ourselves from known threats. But here's something we don't understand. We can't predict, we can't stop, and the response is silence. So let's bring it back to you. Why does this matter to you? Because if we don't demand answers, we won't get them. If we don't start thinking critically, asking the hard questions, and refusing to accept the crumbs we're being fed, this won't just stay a mystery. It'll become a pattern, a precedent, a reminder that the truth doesn't belong to us anymore. And let me be clear, this isn't just about trusting the government or believing in science or even fearing the unknown. This is about humanity, about what kind of species we want to be. Are we going to be the ones who ignore the questions that scare us? Or are we going to be the ones who face them head on, no matter how uncomfortable the answers might be? And to really highlight what we are being told to believe here, and before we wrap this up, let's address one of the most persistent and intriguing theories about these UAPs, and that's that they're coming from the ocean. Now, at first glance, that might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but when you think about it, the ocean makes a lot of sense. And again, this is a theory where we have no answers and it's not being addressed. But people are talking about this and it can make sense. Let's start with the numbers. Over 70% of our planet is covered by water. Did we forget this? And the vast majority of it is unexplored. Did you know that? We have mapped the surface of Mars in greater detail than we have mapped the floors of our own oceans. If you were trying to hide advanced technology or even an entirely different civilization, there is no better place to do it than in the depths of the sea. And the sightings support this. Over and over, people report these objects disappearing into the water and re-emerging from it, or hovering just above it. I mean, think about the videos we have seen. Glowing orbs skimming the surface of the ocean, traveling faster than anything we can explain, and then plunging into the water without so much as a ripple. This isn't just anecdotal. There are records, radar data of this, even footage captured by military pilots that show this happening. We have these things. And here's why that matters. If these UAPs are coming from the ocean, it challenges everything we think about their origin. Because if they're not flying here from outer space, if they're already here hiding in the oceans, then the question isn't where did they come from? It's how long have they been here? And let's take it one step further. If they're operating from the oceans, it explains a lot. It explains why we can't find their bases. Because they're underwater, they're out of sight, and beyond the reach of most of our technology. It explains why they don't need to refuel, because if they are based here, they don't have to travel long distances to reach us. And it explains why they're so hard to track, because the ocean is the ultimate cover, a place where even our most advanced surveillance struggles to penetrate. But here's the real kicker. If they've been in the oceans all along, what does that mean for us? Are they observing us, waiting for something, or simply going about their business, indifferent to our existence? The idea that an intelligence this advanced could be living on the same planet as us, and has been for who knows how long, should give us all pause. And there's this. If the ocean is their origin, then every theory we have been given about these UAPs needs to be rethought, because the real mystery isn't just what they are, it's about what they want, and whether or not they've already found it. Okay, guys, so here is where we are. We've asked the questions, we have dismantled the lies, and we have stared into the unknown. And now I'm asking you, what do you believe? Because this isn't just about what's flying above us, it's about the story we're being told and the truth we are being denied. They say these are harmless. They say these are explainable. They say these are under control. But if that is true, why are the questions piling up faster than the answers? Why can't they track them? Why can't they stop them? And why, after all this time, are we still being fed the same tired narrative? Don't worry, we've got this. But here's the reality. They don't have this. And if we don't start questioning the story we are being sold, we might never know what's really happening. Is this military tech? Is it a rogue operation? Or is it something bigger, something extraordinary? Because the simplest answer is often the right one, and right now, the simplest answer is this. It's not ours. And that should terrify you. Because if it's not ours, we're dealing with intelligence, technology, and motives far beyond anything we understand. If they're here for a reason. And if we don't demand the truth, if we don't start pulling apart the lies and asking the hard questions, we're not just blind, we're complicit. I am going to be here to keep asking. I will be here to keep pulling at the threads, because in a world where silence and distraction are the loudest tools, someone has to make sure you hear the signal through the noise. I will keep going, so keep your eyes out for more in this drone UAP series that I will be doing. Stay safe out there. Keep asking the difficult questions and always dig for the truth. And until next time, this is Alexis Knight.